The following is a special presentation of 710 ESPN Seattle and 710sports.com. Live from Lucky Strike in Bellevue, this is Seahawks Weekly, presented by Bud Light and also by Pop Chips. Each Thursday night, we take you inside the Seahawks like no one else can. Seahawks Weekly is on 710 ESPN Seattle and 710sports.com.
It's Seahawks Weekly from Lucky Strike in Bellevue Square. Let's hear it for Bobby Wagner.
What's up, guys?
Seahawks starting middle linebacker. Your runner-up as the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. Second-round pick out of Utah State. Seahawks Weekly brought to you by Bud Light and Pop Chips. Dave Wyman, Max Strong, I'm Danny O'Neill, and Bobby, thank you very much for taking the time.
I appreciate you guys having me.
So in terms of, you've been around for some pretty remarkable victories in just the year and a half that you've been here. Where does that one rank up? Coming back from being down 17 points at halftime, your defense holding them, they didn't get inside the Seattle 40 in the second half, didn't score a point in the second half for overtime. Where does that win rank in terms of the games you played in here?
Man, I definitely think it ranks up there just because, it got us to 4-0, something that we haven't done before. So I definitely think it ranked up there with one of the wins.
How good of a win as far as the afterwards, as far as the locker room celebration? Because we did some of the post-game interviews. It sounded like a nightclub in the background. I mean, it sounded like there was music playing and everybody was having a good time. I mean, as far as, Washington, I guess I'm thinking of, and some of those games that you won last year, Chicago. Was this as much fun as you had? Yeah, man, it was fun. Everybody from the coaching staff to the players was all happy about the win, man. Going 4-0 is, something that we should appreciate when it happens. So, you got to enjoy it. Now, is there a side of you guys, because I know Pete Carroll tries to take them one at a time, and, everything's the same, that you almost don't want to celebrate too much over something like that, it's like sort of the culture there is, well, let's not make it a big deal, kind of like act like you've been there before. We're going to do it again next week. Yeah, you want to act like you've been there before, but I think we get at least, 30 minutes to an hour. Give yourself a few hours. We get 30 minutes to an hour to celebrate it. Well, and it continues over on the bus ride and on the plane, right? Yeah, so it'll give you plenty of chance. It makes those bus rides and those planes so much better when you win.
You say the coaches get involved in the celebration. You mean Pete Carroll is crip walking in the locker room?
I don't know if he crip walking, but he definitely dancing. He dancing for sure.
Well, I just want to talk about maybe just the mentality of your defense, because almost kind of on cue for every game this year, just about the time where you guys are behind and you need a big play, and you say, man, this would be a great time to come up with an interception, or it'd be a great time to come up with a fumble. And somebody creates it, somebody does it. Just talk about that mentality that you guys have on the defense.
I just think everybody out there on the field, from the secondary to the front seven, we want to make plays. So we want to be like, we want to be considered the best defense out. So in order to do that, you have to make plays when they count. So, when teams are in a red zone or, we need a big play to get the offense going, I think, everybody wants to be that person to make the play. So, it definitely helps us just because, it's so competitive out there. Everybody want to get an interception. Everybody want to, force a fumble. So it makes playing fun.
And especially when everybody on the defense is like that, right? Every single guy has that attitude like, I'm going to make the play that makes the difference for the team. Yeah, everybody think they're going to make the play or get the interception. So, when you get your opportunities, you got to make them count, because if you miss them, somebody else going to get it.
That's Bobby Wagner. He's here with us at Seahawks Weekly from Lucky Strike. And, Bobby, when you look at that game and you go back and look at the tape, in the first half to the second half, the first half they gained a ton of yards. They moved the ball pretty well. The second half they really didn't accomplish much of anything. What was the biggest difference when you went back and looked at the tape? What did you see that explained your guys' turnaround?
I think the first half, we making, some mistakes that we shouldn't be making. And, I think the second half we did a better job of just everybody calming down and doing what we do best, which is, make plays and have fun. So, the first half we messed up, but we went in at halftime and was like, put that behind us. We don't never feel like we out of a game, whether, doesn't matter what the points is. So, we always felt like we was going to come back in the game. We just needed to make a play, and we did.
Bobby, when you guys, when there is a little bit of a breakdown in the running game, is that typically an assignment deal, or is it somebody? I mean, I don't see guys getting beat very often, on this defense. I mean, you're all pretty physical, but is it typically because somebody's not in their gap like they're supposed to? Is it an assignment error, or is it more physical?
Sometimes it's an assignment error, but sometimes, they just call the right play and the right defense. But like you said, we a team full of playmakers. So no matter what defense we're in, we're supposed to make the play. So it's really on the players.
When you have a blocker coming out, do you have like a repertoire of how you want to approach that? I mean, if a guy's coming out to block you, maybe it's a guard. Do you hit him the first time, try to give him a slip? I mean, do you have a way of working that in? Do you guys work on that with Coach Norton?
He teaches us a way to defeat the blocks, and you definitely got to play mind games with him. You can't do the same thing every single time, but what I do is I just find the ball, because sometimes it's like big 300-pound dudes. They just slow and sloppy, so you give them one juke move and they out the way.
We won't tell any of the offensive line that are coming in here that you just said that.
I'll tell them myself.
You call them it. Do you ever call them that on the field out there?
Nah, not R.
No, I'm talking about the opposing offensive lineman.
Nah.
Like, get your hands off me, you fat blankety blank, or
nah,
that's what I used to say.
It sounds like you're pretty familiar with that sort of terminology, Dave.
Yeah, I did. I used to say that, and there was a guy. Remember Derek Kennard? He was really fat. I mean, he was probably 400 pounds, and I told him, get your hands off me, fat, whatever. And he's like, he said to me, "Who are you calling fat?" I said, "Who do you think? Have you looked in the mirror?
I think a lot of those guys they weigh 300 pounds, but they think they 220. So
yeah, is that right?
they definitely need more mirrors in the house.
I love it. Finally, I have a linebacker to talk to who will sit around and make fun of offensive linemen.
That's hilarious. But you play with a chip on your shoulder, little Bobby. I do see you out there, like getting in guys' faces, whether the quarterback or something like that. You're talking about getting in guys' heads. Is that something that's kind of a part of your game? You like to talk to guys after you embarrass them?
I just it's just all fun. I just find it fun, man, because I think everybody's out there competing. So, if somebody gets up and after making a play and they talk trash, I just hope they keep it up the whole game, because I'm going to talk trash the whole game then.
Well, I just think about just the kind of player that you want to be. When I came in, there was a guy named Sean Alexander. When he came here, he looked at the record book and he said, "I want to break all these records in here, for a running back." And a lot of people may think that's arrogant or really prideful, whatever, but that's the kind of mentality he had. When you got here, did you think, man, I want to be the best middle linebacker the Seattle Seahawks have ever had? Yeah,
when I got here, I wanted to be the best linebacker that's ever came through here. I think if you're not striving for that, then, what are you playing for? And essentially, you want to be the best at everything you do. So when I got here, I wanted to, I didn't per se look at the records, as far as breaking them, but I definitely wanted to be, whenever I'm done here, considered one of the best ones that ever came through here.
By the way, he broke my career interception record in one season. So, yeah, I know you weren't looking at my record.
You still got a touchdown on him, though, right?
Huh?
You still have a touchdown?
I did score a touchdown.
We got a long season. We got a long season.
That's a great answer there. Bobby Wagner with us on Seahawks Weekly.
Is that the next thing for you? Touchdown?
Touchdown, sacks.
Yeah. Is that what you guys talk about?
Yeah, whatever you got, I'm going to try to take it.
You have your dance all ready?
Huh?
Will you have your dance all ready for when you get in the end zone?
Yeah, I got something prepared.
There we go.
You do?
So you're going to see it.
Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that. Hey, Mac was talking about you talking to, who was that you were yapping at the other day? There was somebody at the end of a play that you were talking to. Maybe it was Arian Foster. Or was it Matt Schaub?
Matt Schaub, yeah. And he was already scared of his own shadow, so it didn't take much to get in his head.
What was he saying to you?
I can't remember. I think he said something about how he got outside or he was making plays or something like that, and I was just like, man, you're not fast. Like, just relax. I was like, eventually we're going to catch you. So I would, I suggest you just be quiet.
There's probably a little more added in that.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit more, but we're gonna PG.
Yeah.
PG.
I thought it was just calm and rational, like an explanation. Like, let him know. Like,
I was just hey, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?
I'm worried for your well-being, young sir.
Yeah,
and please
that's
just
how it was.
tone it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby Wagner's with us here on Seahawks Weekly. And Bobby, one of the most interesting things about your story is coming out of high school, you actually met Pete Carroll. He came to your high school, only it wasn't to talk to you, but you did meet him. And I'm wondering, did you remind Coach Carroll of that?
As soon as I seen him.
Did he remember you?
He did not.
Because he came there, now it was a cornerback that was a year ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
In high school?
Yeah.
That Pete was recruiting to go to USC. And you were just becoming involved. You played football for a couple years, but you weren't really a prospect.
I was also probably like 5'7", 195 or something like that. It wasn't your particular SC linebacker.
But then this is the part of it. You go to Utah State, you make yourself into a second-round pick, and it's kind of one of those success stories. I think what football is so great is people can kind of make themselves, somebody like you that wasn't heavily recruited, ends up coming and making himself into not only an NFL linebacker, but someone who starts as a rookie, as a second-round draft pick. How much satisfaction do you get out of that, the evolution you've had as an athlete over your time in college?
I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. You know, when I got to Utah State, I talked to some of the older guys, and they were telling me, if you're good, they'll find you. So I seen a couple guys go to the NFL. They didn't go, they didn't get drafted, but they got a shot. So I knew I was going to get a shot. So, I felt like if anybody gave me a shot, it was going to be good for whoever did.
And it was Pete Carroll, and you got to remind him that, hey, I was the little 5'7" guy that you don't remember, but now I'm your starting.
I just told him I grew up a little bit.
You can't blame him for overlooking you, though. You were 5'7" at the time, so he couldn't see it right away.
5'7" people have
I probably shot up right after I met him.
Yeah.
So,
when did you start playing football as a kid? I mean, did you always have dreams of being a pro football player when you were little?
I actually thought I was a basketball player.
See, that's how I was too. I thought I was going to be Dr. J.
Yeah, for some reason I felt like I was going to be 6'6", so that didn't happen.
And did you play high school hoops?
Yeah.
Good at it?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Now, are you better than what about, that's the one bragging point on every team. If you ask any NFL player, he'll say he's the best basketball player in the locker room. Have you got a chance to play anybody?
Yeah, I actually played a couple of people. If I'm not the best, I would say I am, because I haven't played Sydney yet, but it's out of me in Sydney.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Middle linebacker's the best basketball player. I bet you people would disagree with you, though,
I don't
right?
think they would.
No?
I mean, as competitors, of course, they're going to say they could beat me, but we got proof that they can't.
Now, I know you're a big Ninja Turtles guy, right?
Yeah.
But don't you have Hulk on your license plate?
Oh, nah.
No, that's not you.
Nah, that's not me. I ain't going to represent him.
What's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Raphael.
Raphael. Well, now why Raphael?
Just because, just his attitude kind of describes myself. Just mean, kind of sarcastic, just trying to get after it.
Sarcastic. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that getting after Matt Shaw, being a little sarcastic.
Just a little bit.
It's Bobby Wagner with us here at Seahawks Weekly. It's presented by Bud Light. It's brought to you by Pop Chips. Never fried, never baked, always popped. You can come on down to Lucky Strike for a chance to win a trip to San Francisco on December 8th to take on the 49ers. How am I doing here, Bobby?
You're doing great.
Yeah, I think it was pretty smooth. It used to be a little rough. I called him Dave to start the show.
Wow.
That was tough. You mispronounce your co-host's name, that's a difficult day.
Mistakes happen. You fix them in the second half.
That's right. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. You don't win the show in the first segment. You don't win it in the second segment.
Yeah, you win it in the fourth and the fifth.
That's right. When you go into Indianapolis this week, what are you expecting from Andrew Luck?
I'm expecting him to try to, be at his best, but I'm going to try to, we as a team are going to try to make sure he's not.
When you have Bruce Irvin back, and he's a linebacker now, he's in your meeting rooms, what kind of impact is that going to have on your defense?
It's going to have a big impact just because, he brings, that speed and that playmaking ability as far as, just covering and sacks. I think, he covers a lot better than people think, and I think he can play well off the ball. So, I'm excited to see him play because I haven't really got a chance to play with him, as the linebacker because I didn't play the first preseason game and then he was hurt and I didn't, so I'm excited.
Bobby, how would you characterize this Indianapolis team? Because it kind of, I think Baldwin kind of described it as they're playing better as a team, but, maybe Houston's defense particularly stood out a little bit more to him as far as talent. Got guys like J.J. Watt, but it does seem like a team that's playing really well right now. Surprisingly, they're running the ball really well. What are you seeing out of film this week as you prepare for Indy?
They're definitely a good team. Definitely got to respect them. They do a lot of good things in the run game, and Andrew Luck's throwing the ball over the field. And I think that run game, kind of, helps that, just because if you can set up the run game, everybody's going to be scared about the run, and that allows you to pass, down the field. So, I think we just got to do a good job of stopping the run and then stopping the pass.
I mean, who do you think on your defense? I mean, you got a lot of playmakers over there, a lot of big-name guys that have gotten a lot of ink. Who's kind of an underrated guy, maybe flying under the radar, that a lot of people maybe don't know about?
Michael Bennett. I think a lot of people don't see as much of the havoc that he causes every single play. I think he's, close to the ball every single play, always pushing back, the lineman every single play. So it makes my job a lot easier, especially when I have to account for him.
When you look at the turnovers you guys have created, Bobby, what's jumped out to you about those? It seemed like there's been a lot of tip balls, a lot of guys diving to make plays. Your defense's performance over the first 4 games, what would you say jumps out to you?
Those tip balls. It just shows you how those tip balls kind of show you how we play. It's always, you get the tip ball, but it's always somebody doing that extra effort to try to catch it. Most teams, it drops on the floor and you play another down. But we actually catch those. So, just the effort that we bring in every single game, all the plays that we making, it's just a bunch of guys having fun playing with each other.
When you look at the film, both you and Earl these past 2 games have had diving interceptions off of tip balls. Who made the tougher catch?
I did.
Yeah. What made it tougher?
I had to fly in the air to catch mine. He just kind of
He rolled?
Yeah, he rolled.
I think it was 2 guys that tipped his, though, right?
Yeah, I tipped it to myself.
You did? That's pretty bad. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like when you tip drill to yourself?
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
Did you do that on purpose? I mean, you probably could have caught it the first time, but you thought, I'll make it look a little more spectacular by tipping it?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I can get another stat, whatever it was.
Get a pass defense and an interception.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
right.
it's a pass. Yeah.
It's like Moses Malone used to do. He'd just sit there and throw the ball off the rim and get
offensive rebounds. Yeah. Well, tell me about on the teams that I was on, the linebackers. That's the room that always had the funniest guy in there. We had Keith Burns in Denver. It was the funniest guy I ever met. And then Rod Stevens, who was a player here. Who's the? You're probably going to say you. He said me for everything we've asked him. Who's the funniest guy? Who's the best basketball player?
You said who's the best basketball player. That's
okay.
Me.
That's
Who
you.
Else? What else?
You said something about interception. Best interception. Okay. Funniest guy.
Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett.
Really?
What about as far as linebackers go, though?
As far as linebackers, Malcolm.
Malcolm Smith?
Malcolm.
Okay, so Bennett, quite talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, very talented. Yeah, he's funny when we've interviewed him. He's
hilarious.
Pretty comical.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
How is Ken Norton Jr.? I mean, how is he just as a coach and helping you guys week in and week out at practice and games? I mean, I see him and he's always like fiery and yelling and stuff like that. And I don't know, is there ever a time when he's not like that?
It's never a dull moment. It's never a dull moment. From the morning I walk in at 6 a.m., he is fired up. Like, ask me why I'm drinking the Gatorade the way I'm drinking it. I don't know. He's just always got a lot of energy. As far as a coach, it's always great to have somebody who's played the game and been there, kind of been there and done that before. So, he helps me out a lot just, through, learning and try to pick up stuff on the film and just trying to be great.
So what did he say to you when you first walked in the door as a rookie last year? What did he say to you just from a coach?
I can't say what he actually said. The PG version. He said, "What's up, punk blank rookie?" So
that was a term of endearment too.
Yeah.
It just meant, I really like you.
He definitely, when I got in, I was 54. I didn't have a name. He was like, "You're not getting a name until you make a play. So until then, you're 54 to me."
So on draft day, he's sitting there in the room. I love this Bobby Wagner guy. I love him. We got to have him. We got to have him. You come in and he says, "What's up, punk?"
Yeah, I mean,
that's hilarious.
No, I kind of knew. because when I came out here and visited, that was a tough 30 minutes sitting there watching that film.
Before the draft?
Yeah, before the draft. He ripped me apart when I left the room. I was like, there's no way that guy likes me.
Yeah.
No kidding. So you watched film of your play at Utah State, and you listened to him critique your play?
Yeah.
Was it difficult? Like, was it humbling? How would you describe it?
Definitely humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to see where my mind is, what I could take, what I can't take, just trying to see how mentally strong I was. But, I can't say I was prepared for it.
Yeah. Did any other team do that with you?
No, not like him. Because it was like, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And then we left. He was just like, hey, I hope you have a good day.
Did you know how to take it? Like, you leave? Because, I mean, the pre-draft visits, like, you assume that they'd be interested in you to bring you out.
Yeah.
After you had him talk to you, did you think they were interested in you?
After talking to him, I was like, I don't know where I stand with them.
That's really funny. And then you get picked. So what did you think when they picked you?
When he called me, he was like, hey, I love you. I love the way you play. And I was just like, man, I wish you would have shown that when I was there.
Yeah.
That would be intimidating because Norton is huge. Well, I always like to have the argument of who would win a fight between Ken Norton and Tom Cable, because it's like shark versus bear sort of debate. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in a video room listening to him really kind of going off.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Have you gotten used to it?
Yeah, I've gotten used to it.
Is it funny or is it always serious? Do you still get does your heart accelerate a little bit and you get nervous?
It's everything. Funny, serious, all of that.
Who's the best looking linebacker, Bobby?
Still putting you on the spot.
No comment.
It is humility. Bobby Wagner's with us here on Seahawks Huddle. It's brought to you by Bud Light and Pop Chips. After 4 games, how would you summarize all the expectations that led into this season? And I know those are external and people talking from outside. You guys have very high standards internally. How would you say you guys have played through a quarter of this season?
I think we played good. The week before, that's definitely, you got to be doing something right. I feel like the defense is playing good. We making a lot of good plays. And the run defense is stout. Secondary is stout. And, we just got to keep improving.
Do you like playing on the road, Bobby? Do you? Because I know as a player, I loved it. Well, especially later on because I was married and there's no taking out garbage or doing chores. You get to go away. Everything's all about football. Somebody makes your bed the next day. Yeah. And then the other thing is, I really like the fact that you could quiet the crowd. That was always a really good feeling. And I know you must love the fans at CenturyLink because they just get you fired up. But do you ever take some joy in going into a city like Carolina and going into Houston and beating them and then getting on the plane and leaving? Yeah,
it's definitely fun going out there in front of 60,000 people and not hearing its sound. Yeah. So I get enjoyment out of that. It's fun playing in hostile environments. People. Especially when the fans try to talk trash to you and everybody just tries to talk, and then as soon as we're up, you don't even hear nothing. Half of them are leaving. So it's fun.
Do you hear the stuff that the fans are saying to you? Can you hear that? Like, is it during warm-ups when you hear that kind of stuff, or is it on the sidelines?
No, they actually try to do it when we supposed to be listening to the flag. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They wait for the quietest moment to try to say something.
Is that right? Oh, man.
Well, just tell me about the coaching staff. They seem really positive. Like, everything I've heard about them is that, look, we don't berate our players. We don't get down on them. We just encourage them. We make them know that we really believe in them, that we put them out there on the field. We believe you can get it done. Just maybe talk about how that's helped maybe you and the other players just to really perform at a high level.
It's definitely helped me a lot. The whole coaching staff is just positive. You step into the facility and you just feel the energy. Everybody's just excited. It definitely helped. At least when I first got here, we're telling me like, look, we're gonna throw a lot on your plate, but we got you. If you mess up, we're gonna teach you, and you're gonna be good. So, it's definitely good, and it helps to have some coaches like that got your back and stuff like that.
I just think that was remarkable because I don't know about you, Dave, but I played with like a lot of old school coaches that the only way they thought they could motivate you was to kick you in the butt. Literally, and berate you. But it seems like the Seattle staff is just so different. Like, they are all about it. Like, you guys, even at your halftime against the 49ers, like, you guys were in there making your adjustments, but people were partying. Like, that just sounds, that's so totally different than anything I would have been a part of.
You just have fun. I think it's a good, I think it's a good combination between, having fun and getting your job done. So it's like, we know when to be serious and when we got to get things done, and we know when we can have fun. And, we feel like we got a good balance, and, it definitely makes it fun to be here.
There you go. Bobby Wagner joining us on Seahawks Weekly. Bobby, I want to thank you for taking the time to come down here. Lucky Strike in Bellevue. You're not going to be playing in front of the home crowd, but maybe the 12th man that's here at Lucky Strike in Bellevue Square, give Bobby Wagner a send-off.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Bobby.
Appreciate you guys.